Hello, hello, hello. I am absolutely fine. It's been a very nice day. Quite relaxing, but also quite stressful in the gym exercises and getting myself in tip-top shape. Well, it's more dexterity. I can't juggle and I can't do cartwheels if I am not dexterous enough.
Ah, well, I just unmuted myself, so
So you were completely silent there.
I was, yeah, but you weren't, so don't worry. We know all
Well,
about your
nice.
cartwheels and stuff. I'm gonna get this out of the way now. I have to do an armpit fart, so I apologize in advance.
Oh,
It's
go
not too
ahead.
hot
Please feel
today.
free.
Um, let me just. I got a tight t-shirt on, so it's a bit harder. Oh, that was a bit of a big one at the end.
I
But
feel
there you
like
go.
I'm in the arms of a professional here.
Thank you, thank you. I got kicked out of many classes for that.
I am not surprised.
But yeah, you are LaucianAshborne, a bard
I am.
extraordinaire. Do you want to give us a very quick introduction, and we'll delve deeper into you?
Ooh, how do I do this properly? Hello, boys, girls, and various other creatures of the Sword Coast, and wherever you are. My name is LaucianAshborne. I am your humble bard, tiefling. Some classify it as a demon, but those are the only uncultured ones. I am simply an entertainer, here to help you along the way. I have my own little inn. It's a nice little rest stop where adventurers can come by and tell me all the tales of their adventures. That's about it.
Ah, an inn. Do you have good prices?
As good as a price can be.
Mm-hmm. You gotta keep yourself afloat.
You do. Absolutely. I
What's
mean, as much as I would like to just charge you a story a night, I do have to pay bills.
the taxman doesn't accept stories, unfortunately.
No, exactly. And as much as my charisma stat is, sweet talking him out of it every time doesn't necessarily work.
Unfortunately not. What about what's today's special? What's been on the menu?
Today's special is a nice little butterbeer that I have procured from Neverwinter.
Oh, some of that fancy stuff.
Oh, of course. You never go without the fanciest stuff, amenities where I am.
Might have to grab a flagon of that at some point.
You're more than welcome to.
Thank you. So, VTubing is a business. It's got quite popular since summer last year, especially over here in the West, coming from the East. How did you discover it?
Ah, that's an interesting one. Do you remember the early days of Kizuna Ai and Kaguya Luna?
Very vaguely. I remember
Yes.
videos of her saying "fuck you."
Yes, way back in the swirling mists of time. That is when I first was presented with the idea. And then obviously Hololive took off and Niji Sanji took off. And I was kind of toying with the idea. You know, I've always wanted to stream. I've always wanted to get my name out there, being a creature of habit as I am. I do enjoy having a crowd. But I never really had the confidence to show myself, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So when the idea of VTubing came about, I was kind of like, oh, I don't have to be me. I can be someone better looking.
Ah.
Oh, right. What do I do? How do I do this? And then then it was more of a, I don't have the means to proceed.
Mm-hmm.
And when V Shoujo got announced, And when they became a thing, that was when it sort of kicked me into gear that, well, if even these independent VTubers can form a group and make a name for themselves properly, maybe I can. And that's when it kind of hit me that, oh, well, all I really need is a model, an interesting persona, and, you know, some games that I like to play. That's just the start of it. I do plan to go into other things in the future.
Ooh, we'll get into your future plans in a bit. I wanna talk more about your early days. How long have you been streaming now?
I've had my VTuber account since January, but I've been streaming since late February, early March.
How have you found it so far?
I love it.
Ooh.
I mean, I can just sit here and entertain everyone from where I am. I don't have to specifically, from a lore perspective, travel from tavern to tavern, providing entertainment for the masses each night. I can simply log on, stream House of the Dead for an hour or two, and everyone's happy.
It's a good way of sharing your hobbies with people online.
It is. I've had a lot of what's the word? I've had a lot of feedback from my recent streams, the Shadow of the Colossus ones. A lot of people have come out of the woodwork to support those, and I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I've seen you kill very large monsters in a very short amount of time.
You have. As it turns out, I don't know if you were in the previous stream, but I managed to hit the top 30 for the world record speed time.
Ooh. Is that the entire game or certain Colossuses?
Normal time attack mode, where you defeat where you pray in front of a statue and you defeat all 16 Colossus. And I managed to do it in 2 hours, 20 minutes, 2 hours, 30 minutes, something like that, which puts me at number 30.
You gonna continue, try and work your way up, keep your crown?
Oh, heavens no.
Oh.
No, it's a small victory that I'm rather proud of, and if I get stripped of it, I get stripped of it. It's no problem.
Just you've claimed your title, and you'll let someone else.
I've claimed my title. I've done what I need to, and I'm now just letting it rest.
I've seen you. You've been playing some Halo as well. Bit of a classic.
Yeah. Funny story about that. Well, last night was my Dark Souls Cinders mod stream, where I installed the Cinders mod on Dark Souls 3, and I worked my way through the new story, fight the new enemies, take a look at the new weapons and classes that are available. As it turns out, Cinders got updated on the 8th of July, and I was not fully aware. So when I tried to boot the game up, it didn't work. And my internet isn't the best. Being in a fantasy realm, you'd think I could just snap my fingers and boof, amazing internet. No, not the case. Not the case at all. It went horribly wrong. I downloaded the newest update for it with enough time to spare. Amazing. Didn't install it with enough time to spare, and it still went wrong. So I moved to a backup plan, which was Dead Space, because I love Dead Space. Any horror game, I love it. I love it so much. But when I started it up, the display capture on my OBS decided that it was going to be an eighth the size of the screen, and then proceeded to close the application every time I clicked out of it.
Not ideal.
Not ideal, so I couldn't do that. So I had to resort to Plan C, which was something that I pulled straight out of my arse, and it was Halo.
But you seem like you were having fun. A lot of driving around.
A lot of driving around. It was legendary difficulty.
Uh,
Yeah, It was as fun as legendary difficulty gets. But it was still nice. I still was able to relive some of the glory days of the boys on Xbox Live.
Will they come back?
We'll never know.
They've got that new one coming out, but it's been delayed for like a year, so...
I thought it was like coming out in December this year.
Yeah, it was initially meant to come out December last year.
Was it?
But the trailer got made fun of, so they wanted to delay it for a year.
Well, it was a bizarre trailer. I don't understand the premise of giving Master Chief a grappling hook.
Probably to get around.
Potentially. It feels too much like it's trying to be a combination of Doom Eternal and what Halo once was. If that makes sense.
Yeah. They might achieve it. I don't know. I haven't played any of the Halos since 1, so... Oh no, I played Reach.
You never played 2?
I've never played 2. I never had an Xbox, so... well, I had a 360 for 6 months. It wasn't for me.
Mojo.
Hello.
My friend, my guy.
Hello.
Me and you need to have a word.
Is this about Halo 2?
It's not just about Halo 2, it's about Halo in general. Next time there is a Steam sale, you're buying Master Chief Collection and you're playing through them.
Don't worry, I do in fact own them. I do own the Master Chief Collection.
Oh, well then you and I are going to play through them.
Oh. If we must.
I've just decided.
Well, I don't know if I'm good enough for what's it called, difficulty.
Oh, don't worry, I'm not either.
Oh, okay.
I figured that part out very quickly.
We can see how it goes.
Exactly.
But yeah, you spoke horror games. I know a thing or two about horror games.
Oh, do you now?
I saw you play the new Resident Evil. Well, I couldn't watch you play the new Resident Evil because I hadn't played it yet, but I saw you were playing it.
I was indeed.
How did you find it? I have now finished it, so I can talk about it.
Oh, excellent. I found it to be one of my favorite Resident Evil games since the release of 4.
Oh.
There was just so much about it that gave me that nostalgia from back in the day, if that makes sense. The whole cash chest that you get, the Duke being related to the merchant in some way with his one little line.
Yeah.
Lady Dimitrescu, obviously. How could we forget that?
Probably
Heisenberg's
sold a lot.
It probably did, yes. Heisenberg's voice, that really... That felt on another level. I enjoyed his accent and I enjoyed all of his voice lines.
Yeah, he was very good.
And then there was the gameplay itself. It didn't feel as short as number 7 was. It felt like it had so much more content and that it was just more than House in a Bayou. It was an entire community of sorts. And then on top of that, there's the Mercenaries mode, all the extra difficulties, and the extra content shop where you could unlock all the stuff.
It's good stuff. It was like a mix of 7 and 4 in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's pretty good. I'm excited to see what the next one is like now.
Yeah, it ended... I enjoyed the ending, but I think the ending itself, it surprised me. If that makes sense.
It was a bit of a... not quite a shock, but unexpected.
Yeah.
So,
I agree with that.
Just have to see where they take it, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Probably some volcano island or somewhere we least suspect.
I kind of want them to bring Albert Wesker back. I'm not gonna lie.
I could see them doing that possibly. They like their wacky stuff.
They do like their wacky, crazy stuff. I mean, yeah, they do like this stuff. Having to fight a gigantic flower kind of set it in motion, I guess.
What speaks zombies more than big undead flowers?
Yeah. It's going south pretty quickly, but you know what? I sit with bated breath as to what they release.
Well, there's DLC I think they announced, so that should tide us over.
Oh, really?
I think it was during E3 they said, they didn't say what it was, but they said that they were working on DLC and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I remember the announcement for that. It wasn't really an announcement, they just kind of said it.
Yeah. I'm going to presume one of them is prequel DLC, including Lady Dama, whatever her name is. I could never pronounce it. Damascene.
Dimitrescu.
Yes, that's it.
Well, believe it or not, there is actually a prequel already out. The demo for it, where the maiden demo is you play as one of the maidens of House Dimitrescu.
I never actually played it, so maybe I should.
The end where she opens the door and says something along the lines of, "So we finally meet," that is Dimitrescu not talking to Ethan. She is speaking to the maiden herself that you play as.
I might have to go back and see what I can find.
Absolutely, I highly recommend it.
I try not to play demos for games because they tend to spoil too much, but you never know.
I can see why.
But let's circle back to VTubers a bit.
Go for it.
We mentioned Kitsune AI.
We did.
But later on, when VTubers became a bit more of a solid concept, were there anyone that you watched before you started streaming?
There were a couple. Korone was one of them for Hololive, and then Fubuki, Akami Mio. I'm trying to think. A bunch of the EN VTubers. I also frequented Iron Mouse. As well as Zentrea. And I watched Silverveil's clips, but I never got time to get into a stream from her.
Yeah, I've never seen when she streams, but it's always at interesting times.
It is. Oh, for me anyway, because time zones.
Yeah, that's the problem. At least we're in Europe, though. We're in the middle, as opposed to being somewhere on the complete opposite.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I can at least miss it by a couple of hours, rather than, I have to get up at 6 a.m.
Oh, imagine that. Or staying up that late to watch someone at 6 a.m. Quite a challenge.
It is. It would be. It would be one that I care not to think about.
Would you say any of them had an influence on you as a tuber, as some people like to say?
None of Hololive really did. I just enjoyed their content. I think the ones that really spoke out to me were Iron Mouse and Zentrea. They were the ones that really gave me the inspiration just to kick it off and do it. And I don't think I would be where I am today if it weren't for them, weren't for those two.
What was it about those two that you think you have not necessarily emulated, but sort of took on board for your own stuff?
With Zentrea, it was more her persona, her personality, if that makes sense. Like the way she came across and her interaction with the chat, how they would play games, how the chat would interact with the stream itself through sound cues, through donations that produce the text to speech. All that kind of stuff kind of spoke out to me. It was like, oh, this is actually really good content. I'd love to do something similar to this. But with Iron Mouse, it was her humanity. How it would be, she would let people know what's going wrong or what she's going through at the moment, and how she would communicate with the chat, and how she would connect with the viewers rather than just play a game with them.
More transparent about what's going on.
Yeah, basically. And it would, how people were saying it would make their days so much better just to see her on stream, or that would talk to her or something like that. And I wanted to help people feel better. I'm saying if that makes sense way too much.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to help people through their day, basically.
Be more of a positive influence on people.
As much as I could, yes. I mean, it's partly why I chose the concept of Laucian himself. Being a bard and being an entertainer, speaking from a lore perspective, his duty is to make people happy, leave every town that he enters better than how he found it. And that's something that I try to emulate myself for my streams.
You seem to be doing a good start with that from whenever I've popped in.
Absolutely. We are currently, I think, 11, 12 people off of 400, which is an uncanny amount. I expected to hit that number, just not as soon as I did, if that makes sense. Like, I expected me to do it within a year or two, rather than the first 4 or 5 months. And I feel like I have to keep up with that.
Well, yeah, it's momentum and stuff, I guess, is very important, as people say.
It's kind of hit me out of left field, so now I have to plan for things that I never thought I'd have to plan for.
What do you think has attributed to that? Do you think it's more the streaming itself, or more the interactions outside of streaming?
I wouldn't be able to tell you. I've had several different variations of that. Some people stick around for the voice, some people stick around for the personality, some people stick around for the content. It all just... There are several different things, really. It's trying to pin down a singular answer.
Yeah, I guess it's the one thing that every streamer sort of has to wrestle with.
Absolutely.
I guess if people did know, then they would sell it, and everyone would be a popular streamer, I suppose.
Oh yeah. Once you find that niche, you've found that niche, but it's finding the niche that's the issue.
It's also getting your name out there as well. That's the big uphill.
It absolutely is. Trust me.
And then then it's also getting your name out there, and then getting them to stay.
Yes, getting them to stay is a whole different other ballpark. It's great having patrons to perform to, but when they get up and leave mid-performance, you kind of get hit hard.
Yeah. It's one thing that is kind of, it's not disheartening, but it is like, you understand it in a way, because people can't necessarily sit around for like 2-3 hours just watching,
and then move to someone else.
Yeah. Viewers are very fickle beasts. You're very, very correct.
But I understand why.
It's very hard. Carry on.
I understand why. They all have their own daily lives they reach. A good percentage of the people I've met and the people that watch my things come from raids
Mm.
and networking posts and things. So I get that not everyone has the time to watch a specific streamer for 2, 3, 4 hours and then move to someone else for another 2, 3, 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's completely fine.
It's also very hard when there's multiple at the same time streaming and you're not really sure like who to go to and stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. You've got to make yourself seem more flashy than any other, but it's doing it.
Coming up with the ideas, keeping the content fresh, but not making it too weird that you sort of do what they didn't want in the first place. But
absolutely, like I tend to make funny quips with my titles before stream, so I'll make them into some kind of pun or a punchline for a joke or something, or even a meme occasionally.
I think that's a smart thing, from what I've heard. The rumors, what they say,
what the ancient scriptures tell of.
You gotta catch their eyes. Some call it clickbait. Okay, everyone calls it clickbait.
Okay, everyone, yeah.
Yeah. But them's the rules, and we gotta play by them. So
you gotta sell your soul at some point.
Yeah, it is what it is. As long as you're not exploiting people or just blatantly lying, I guess it's all fine.
Absolutely, yeah. Like lying and just doing clickbaity shit. It's not cool. It's not good.
There is a line.
Yeah, there is definitely a line.
At least we all end up hot tub streamers.
I have done that at some point. I have had a hot tub stream, and I did it as a complete meme.
I did enjoy that when the category came out. At least 50% of them were memes. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. There was one guy I was watching. He made a YouTube video of it. Call Me Kevin.
I think I've heard of them.
Yeah, he did a hot tub stream, which was just basically a paddling pool that I think it deflated halfway through.
Oh no! Bit of a wet stream.
Kind of, yeah. Or something to that extent. Something deflated, and I can't remember what it was specifically. I don't know if that vague sentence sounds great or not.
Well, we'll leave it as it is for now. We can cut it out in post, don't worry.
Some things are better left unanswered.
There's too much of that going around. But yeah, there's a lot to streaming. You've spoken briefly about the perks of being a VTuber. Is there any others you'd like to say that you've noticed?
Perks of being a VTuber. It's more lifestyle ease, really. Like IRL streaming, speaking as a person rather than the VTuber itself. Being IRL and streaming, you kind of got to get yourself ready for that stream. You've kind of got to make yourself look okay. If you've not showered that day, you've got to shower, or you've got to clean yourself up. You've got to make yourself look presentable. Whereas me, at the moment, the biggest perk I have is just doing a bit of voice practice beforehand, and it means I only have to change my voice ever so slightly.
Pretty handy. So less setup is one of the perks.
Far less setup. I think it's also unique to experience as well. Yeah. IRL streaming is great, but being able to take the form of your VTuber model and moving your arms around and your model responding to it, and your mouth moving as well. Like even now, just having a reactive image, having it respond to my words, still feels surreal to me.
Hmm.
And I actually look forward to when my model will be finished.
I'm excited. That's later this year, right?
It is. We're gonna look around. I would say September, October is when the model will be finished.
Oh.
But I don't plan on debuting until November 5th
Remember the 5th of November.
because it's my birthday.
Ah. We got all the exciting stuff happening then. I'll have to check in. You planning a big event for it?
I'm planning a couple of things, yes. If you want, I can go into them. I don't know if...
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Yeah. There is a D&D one-shot with players and a story.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll kind of be told from the perspective of myself telling a story to the adventurers of the inn. If that comes across.
Mm-hmm.
So the players will be taking their roles and I will be telling the story. So I'll be DMing, which is fun because I've never really done it before.
DMing?
Absolutely.
You might want to get some practice in before then, unless you want that to be the main attraction.
I am wanting it to be the main attraction. I have had a couple of practice times, and I have researched into it, so I do have some semblance as to what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Komori's an experienced DM.
I might be.
Are you?
I might be. I don't want to toot my own horn too much, but I've done a few games over the past few years.
Maybe you and I can work together.
Maybe. My first advice is it's 50% improv, 50% planning.
I'm fully aware.
Good. That's also don't compare it to Critical Role is the one thing I would tell all players.
Yeah, I know that. I like Critical Role, but when you're trying to emulate it, it's not original at that point. You kind of lose your originality with it.
I like to think of it as role play porn. It's good to watch. It's entertainment, but it's not real. It's not real.
Do you want to say that sentence again? I don't think my pretty little ears got that.
What the Roll20 is it's fun to watch, but it's not real.
Roll20?
Not Roll20. What am I saying? Critical Role. There we go.
No, I heard something else there completely.
What, compared it to roleplay porn?
There we go.
Yeah, roleplay porn. That's exactly what I describe it as.
I see. I can't say I've ever had that experience.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can't say I've ever heard it described as such. So thank you for the new insight. Thank you for the new insight.
It's more of like people's expectations. Like, I don't want to go too into it because I'm trying to stay safe. But people,
I know.
People watch certain material online, and it gives them unrealistic expectations. So I feel that Critical Role can give new players bad, not necessarily bad expectations, but they're expecting way too much from some lowly 13-year-old that is maybe trying out DMing for the first time.
Yeah, I see it. I think the experiences that I've had, me, myself, and a couple of players are currently in a Sunday session.
Oh.
It's completely unstreamed, but I actually play myself.
Ah.
I play LaucianAshborne, the level 11 Tiefling Lawbard.
Oh.
What you're seeing... What school? Lawbard.
Law? Ah, okay, yeah.
I'm a college of law. I have my own spell book with my own spells, which I will be releasing as a PDF, by the way.
Oh.
Once I've actually paid for the rigging and everything, because I believe the first payment for that is due towards the end of this month, start of next month. So once I've got that out of the way, I'll have a bit more disposable income, so I'll be able to afford someone to help me design a cover, and I will publish it as a full PDF, so everyone else can experience the true end game of a lore bard. Which was, for me specifically, getting your name out there in a spell book that'll make you legendary.
There you go. Gotta getting close to that.
Well, there are a couple of spells in there that are rewordings, if that makes sense. Like, as an example, using Critical Role as an example here. Not sticking to it, but just using it. Caleb Widogast's Nascent Nine-Sided Tower is a simple rewording of Mordekainen's Magnificent Mansion.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
A similar one that I've created is Laucian's Hall of Heroes, but it's a skill tree. So you start off with Lau's Helpful Hut of Holding, which is a singular room at a level 3 spell. And it's a singular room with a bed, a table, and a wardrobe. It can be a walk-in wardrobe if you want, but it doesn't have to be. The more you work on that spell, the more hours you put into researching it and where it comes from, the more that spell will evolve. Until you get to 7th level, where it is Laucian's Hall of Heroes. Which it encompasses a lot of the Sword Coast itself. So there's a lot of tales that I've received from other sessions that Laucian's not involved with that kind of come across, and they're in the library there. There's Tales of the Orient, which I used to be in for the Thursday session, but that's taken a massive hiatus.
As a lot of D&D games unfortunately end up in.
Well, it's because of the predicament we find ourselves in. The DM for it is working from home a lot, and the hours have increased, so we don't really get that much time to run the session now. Which was a shame, because I really like the character that I played.
As long as you've enjoyed the time you have played with them, I suppose.
Oh, absolutely. I loved the story behind it, the voices that he did, the little tidbits in the story that he'd put in, the little small details that would work out to a grander picture. All typical DM stuff.
Classic DM stuff. But yeah, you've mentioned you're going to start this one shot. Is it planned up much, or still in the early stages?
The entire story of it is planned. I am just waiting on a couple of characters to finish their designs, their classes, what they're taking, that kind of thing, and then it's all finished. In fact, I wonder if I've got my journal knocking around. I can give you the title of it if you like.
Oh, is this an exclusive reveal, or?
This is an exclusive reveal. Right, okay. There we go. You are gonna look forward to the Garden of the Masked Jester.
Oh, is that a nice stroll through a perfectly safe garden, I presume?
Oh, absolutely. There's all kinds of things there, like daisies, the grass, all sort of garden stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely nothing dangerous.
There would never be anything dangerous in a garden.
Never would be anything dangerous in there. I wouldn't worry too much.
Of
I mean,
course, of
you
course.
probably step on a thistle, but you know.
Ah, well, that's nothing a little cure wound can fix.
Exactly, my friend, exactly.
It sounds pretty good. I'm excited to at least hear about it at some point.
Well, it is a 5-person one-shot, and my intention of it is to set up a overarching world with it.
Ah.
So it's kind of like the origins of where I'm starting. How do I do it without spoiling anything?
You can say as much or as little as you like.
Much or as little as I like? Okay. So, when I first started VTubing in general, I would always say things in complete character. And one of the things that I used to mention was while I was getting my Discord server set up, it would basically be me renovating a tavern to be the inn that it is now.
Yeah. The
And
Moondrop Inn?
the Moondrop Inn, yes. Because I'm a sucker for flowers.
I'm sure you've got a nice patch of them around your inn.
I can assure you it has the grandest of gardens.
Ah.
For what it is. Nothing too grandeur, I'm not in a mansion, but it's definitely interesting. In fact, a couple of the art pieces that I got situate around that tavern itself. So, there is one. I don't know if I sent it to you or not. No, I didn't. That's such a shame.
I might be able to quickly pull it up on stream.
Let me send it to you. Let me just do that real quick. But it basically... I've got all these episodes of Transformers that I need to scroll past before I actually get to it.
Ooh, another classic.
Hey, I've been reliving the nostalgia. It is really nice. I missed the show because I used to watch it all the time.
I'm trying to think. Now that I think about it, there's been like multiple generations Transformers.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, am I nearly there? I think I'm nearly there. Oh, no, it just keeps going.
just fine. We can pull it up later.
Yeah, we can pull it up later. You carry on. I'll find it in the meantime.
Let me think. So, you've got your one shot. Is there anything else for your debut you've got planned?
Just the usual debut stuff, talking about the lore behind myself, where I am, the world building in general, interactions with chat. Might play a few games or so. I'll turn it into a full thing rather than just a 2.5-hour stream. There you go.
Oh, that is a very fancy one. Let's try.
This particular art piece was something that I skebbed in my early days.
Classic scab.
For Valentine's Day. And this was sort of the idea that I was toying with, that he would own an inn or a tavern. And I thought to call it an inn because Moondrop Inn. It sounds like drop in.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, that's actually a pretty cool pun that I can work with. But this is a POV, I'm taking you on a date shot.
Oh.
And as you can see, there is actually a poster behind Laucian, which was the first skeb that I ever got, and the creator turned it into a poster and put it up outside the inn for me.
Ah. Is that a sort of advertisement poster? for something.
It is. It says Laucian's Magic Show.
Ah. It's the important part of being a bard, is the whole pizzazz of things.
You absolutely do, yes. Don't get anywhere without pulling a rabbit out of a hat.
As long as you've got a hat to spare.
I mean, it's on my back right now. Do you not see the blue feather?
Ah, yes, I do.
That is actually the hat that I keep on my back.
Ah. Is that for summoning small creatures?
Summoning small creatures, protecting yourself from rain, you know how it works.
Definitely got to keep the old hair dry. Although you might need a bigger hat for your luscious locks.
Yes. In hindsight, you know, it's a good idea, but whether practice lets you keep it is another thing entirely. I can.
Oh.
I can, if you like, if you so would enjoy, I can procure for you a small preview of the model itself, because I believe I have one recently.
Oh, if that's okay with you,
That is.
I could pull it up.
It's perfectly fine. What I'll do is I'll take a bit of a cropping shot of it, so
don't want to give too much
spoil
away.
everything. There you go.
Oh. This is looking mighty fine.
Yes, I have. You notice that in every piece of art that I've got so far, it's quite smooth horns. I decided to shake things up a bit because I wanted to see what it would look like with textured, because I feel that would be slightly more realistic as opposed to the anime smooth horn everything. Whereas now, it's actually textured. It looks more like a demonic horn, like a tiefling horn.
Yes, more layers.
I still maintain my beautiful blue eyes, my luscious hair, which, by the way, is all getting rigged.
Oh.
There are a lot of small details on this model, and all of them will be moving, and that's why it's costing me so much.
Yeah, I've heard some tales of live 2D and how you can't mirror it. Every little bit has to be manually done.
Every little bit, and I immediately feel sorry for the person working on this. But they have my eternal gratitude and my love.
How are you finding the whole commissioning process?
I've always had anxiety with contacting people. You wouldn't think so with myself being a bard, but I do. I genuinely have like some form of anxiety when it comes to contacting an artist that I don't have a personal connection with. Like, there are VTuber artists that I've got on my Twitter that I will just drop a message to anytime, any day. I can do that. And then there are the ones that I want to get out of, but I don't know them well enough to just drop in and be like, hey, please draw me. Hi, how you doing? And it's getting over it.
Yeah, it's usually the first message is the hardest.
Once you've got that initial first message down, you usually find that it's a lot easier, but it's doing it. It's wording it so you don't sound too pompous or too much of like an asshole.
You don't want a twit longer made about you.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want a twit longer.
It's an interesting process, but I feel like most people, as long as what you're saying is like either what they're advertising or what you would ask normal people, I assume it would be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as it's polite, it should be fine.
Oh yeah, I'm always polite. Look at me. Do you think I don't get anywhere without an ounce of charm?
It's got to be up there, one of the greats of charm.
You compliment me. You make me blush.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Oh, you.
But yes, before I lose track again, of where I am. Where am I? Who am I? What am I?
When are you?
Hopefully today. I'd hate to be trapped in yesterday because it was too hot.
I fully agree. British weather is something otherworldly.
Mm-hmm.
It's I loved everything when it was rainy, when it was cold, and I enjoyed it. And then things decided to kick off to 30 degrees, and I melted.
It's been horrible.
It has been horrific.
It's cooling down like ever so slightly now.
Yeah, like today is, I think, 18 degrees.
Yeah, about 18, 19.
Yeah. Which I can deal with.
Mm.
I've not needed a fan on most of the time. I've not needed to employ the little the elf that walks around with the handheld fan.
Oh, you've got one of those.
I mean, he's a bar hand, but you know, you've got to make use of them.
Yeah. It's giving him a job, I suppose.
He gets paid extra for it. He has no complaints.
A few extra coins in the pouch is usually good enough for a lot of people.
Well, exactly.
So what are your plans after your debut? That's the important part.
That is. That is when I take my full-fledged bardic inspiration, my bardic knowledge, and apply it to what I'm currently doing. So there will be regular D&D one-shots which build up the world, as I said, which could lead later on into a small campaign, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
There will be more karaoke streams, if I can get around Twitch's TOS for that.
I've heard that's a tricky maze. But,
It is a tricky maze.
A lot of people love them, so...
More performance art, basically. Because at the moment, a lot of the things that I'm planning require movement, and I currently don't have it. So when I can move, I can do a lot more.
And you can jiggle and flutter those blue eyes.
I can, and I look forward to it every day. Each day is a step closer to where I can charm you with not only my voice, but I can also flutter my eyes at you.
Oh, so seductive.
Well, I have to roll persuasion every so often.
Just every now and then. Turnip wants detecting seductive vibes. Thank you, Turnip.
I'm assuming that's the echolocation.
Yes. I
see.
Have to lower the tone so that people can hear it, but you get the idea. But yeah, so you've got your debut of your full model in a few months. You've got a lot of content you're working on for then. What are you going to do in the meantime? What games are you currently playing? What are you are any new games you're going to play in the meantime?
Well, Monday, all of this is about 10 p.m. British Standard Time, or GMT +1, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all around the same time. We have Shadow of the Colossus on a Monday, and for that we beat time attack mode. We've got all the items. The last thing we need to do is find the 79 enlightenments, which are tiny little coins scattered across the map. There are 79 of them in total.
Oh yes, I think I remember those.
So that's going to be an intrepid adventure in on itself. Tuesday, it's kind of... Tuesday, I'm thinking of playing games with Peaches, who is my lovable little opossum security guard.
Security guard. Oh.
Well, she kicks them out if I need them to.
I'm sure that doesn't need to happen too often.
Not too often, but you do get the occasional rowdy one. We will be playing Sea of Thieves most of the time because I do enjoy a good pirate adventure. There will be occasions where she's feeling a little burnt out, and it might just be a solo stream with myself. In which cases, all cards on the table. It might just be Halo, it might be Dead Space. We work that out a week in advance usually.
Whatever takes your fancy.
Yeah, basically. Thursdays, it's Bloodborne with Zero Chi, who is another VTuber. And that's a little bit earlier. That's about 8 o'clock GMT +1. Mainly because I like to raid into Peaches that night because she usually streams. And I like to give her the attention. I like to give her the love.
It helps, yeah.
Yeah. And then Fridays is the Dark Souls Cinders mod.
Hopefully you can get it working.
Hopefully I can get it working, yeah.
I've heard a lot of interesting things about the Cinders mod.
It's one of my favorites. Champion's Ashes is another one that I want to try. And it will probably be one that I do after the Cinders mod. So I played through the game again, but with Champion's Ashes. Because Cinders is great. It includes everything from every other Soulsborne game. Including Bloodborne, but it doesn't have the actual trick weapons. It has the models and it has the damage stats, but it doesn't have the trick aspect to them. Whereas Champion's Ashes actually implemented the trick nature to them. So if anyone's played Bloodborne, the Hunter's Axe that you can get, it's a one-handed axe, but you press a button and it'll extend into a halberd. Yeah. They've actually implemented that trick nature to it.
Very useful, very useful.
Exactly. And there are different bosses. You've got the Mirror Knight from Dark Souls 2 is in there somewhere. Seath the Scaleless, I believe, has been seen. It includes a lot more content than what the base game included.
Yeah.
And I love that aspect of it. I could talk forever about Soulsborne, but...
Yeah, the real question is, will you be joining the Nintendo Music meta for Dark Souls that's been popping up recently?
The what, sorry?
The listening to Nintendo music while streaming Dark Souls.
I don't believe I have, but you know what? That's something to think about.
It's I think Hoffle started it, and it's just sort of caught on with everyone else. So
Hoffle Cakey,
an YouTuber.
Hasha,
Bino, Turnip, Doots. I've seen all them join in. So.
Yes. I'm not familiar with Hoffle, but I'm familiar with the others. I'll have to look them up afterwards.
I can link you afterwards.
Please do.
Will do. I think Puffle might still be streaming right now, but she's been playing Dark Souls 3 recently. But yeah, the Nintendo, listen to Nintendo music while
the Nintendo meta.
Yeah, the Nintendo meta.
Ooh.
I'm not sure how good of a meta it is. It's literally just playing Nintendo music while playing Dark Souls. But yeah, this could be interesting. Are there any others? I think I already asked this, but any future games you would like to play that aren't currently planned?
Evil Within 1 and 2.
Oh yes, the guy with the vault on his head. That's what I remember from that game.
I would love to play that. Fatal Frame, the one that's getting re-released on Switch.
Oh, Spooky Pokemon Go.
Spooky Pokemon Go, and the Dead Space games if I ever get them working.
Yeah,
As you can see, a lot of horror things.
there's some real good horror games out there.
Absolutely. If I can get an emulator working for it, I will probably stream the previous 3, maybe 4 Fatal Frame games that have been released.
I've seen a lot of good emulators, so it seems doable.
Yeah. I also want to take a look at potentially Fear. You know, the old PlayStation 3 games?
Oh yeah, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. I have those on Steam, so I'll probably do those at some point.
Pretty good from what I've seen and heard.
Yeah, I also want to stream Breath of the Wild 2 when that comes out because I have a capture card ready.
Ooh.
So that'll be a thing when it comes out.
When is that due out? Is that later this year?
2022.
Next year.
I believe they said 2022.
Hmm.
So hopefully I'll be fully debuted by then. Hopefully.
Fully reacting to all of the whatever's going to happen in Breath of the Wild 2.
Exactly. One thing I can announce, and one thing I can make absolutely exclusive to this.
Oh.
I will not only have one model by the end of November, but potentially 2.
What's the second one?
The second one is a separate outfit.
You're gonna be able to switch quickly?
Well, it's not done by the same artist. But it is a separate outfit, so it will be an entirely new me. Which I'm looking forward to because then I'll have 2. I'll have the primary one and then the one for the redeem if I ever get it. But the outfit itself is actually inspired by the person that inspired me. So, Laucian, being a tiefling bard, you notice he has a fondness for purple.
Yeah, it's lavenderish.
Lavenderish, and the only other tiefling that's lavender is Mollymock. So that's where I got all my lavish nature from originally. So I made an outfit. I asked my friend to help me design it and help me incorporate some of the aspects of Mollymock's own outfit into it. And they came up with this original design, and I've named it the Summer's Dance. In honor of his scimitars.
You gotta be well versed in many weapons.
Well, I mean, it's not just a rapier and my words that I know my way around.
Well, it's a two-handed adventure, I'm sure.
Well,
dual-handed.
I can't speak much. You'll have to experience it yourself.
Well, I've got my own. I'm a bit of a shield main right now, so
a bit of a shield hero.
Yes. I get that reference.
I can see it. I can see why you'd get that reference.
I haven't actually watched that much. I've only seen like maybe 5-10 minutes of the first episode. I should probably watch it more, but
I highly recommend it.
Which does bring us on to our next topic very nicely.
Ooh.
Of we've spoken enough about VTubing and VTubers. However, every VTuber is connected in some way to anime. So I was gonna get your experiences with anime.
My experiences with anime have been very varied, anywhere between High School DxD and the top 10, the Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, that kind of thing. One thing that stuck with me though, and one show that I keep going back to is D. Greyman. And it's not just because I myself am grey.
Okay.
But D. Greyman is one of the best shows I've ever watched as an anime. And that's just from the standpoint that I can make it all the way through 102 episodes.
Ah.
Another one that I've been making my way through is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, very, very hot at the moment, or at least not as hot as it was last year, but still very popular.
Yes, I'm a man of culture, you see.
Mm.
Part 2, I'm watching with Peaches at the minute. We've been watching it quite out of sync. I've already watched them all before, but Peaches wanted to experience them for herself, so I kind of went, oh, okay, yeah, sure. I'll make my way back to the start and we'll watch them from part 1 again.
Mm-hmm.
Painstakingly made our way through part 1. It just didn't grip her attention.
Yeah, it is very all over the place.
Yeah, made our way through to part 4, which was literally just because of the Yoshikage Kira meme and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're back to 2, part 2 with Joseph, and then we'll move to part 3 and then part 5. It's been the most... Can I swear? Can I swear?
Go for it.
It has been the most fucked timeline.
Mm.
In terms of watching what at what point, but I think we're making our way through it.
As long as you're both enjoying it, that's what matters.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You've been you're well versed in the animes. You've got around.
I like to think I am, yes.
How do you feel about its influence on VTubing?
It's had a lot of influence. You notice that with the art style, with the way they're interacting with people, with the voice reveals and the voice content that some more adult VTubers are bringing out.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's had a positive influence in total.
Yeah.
In its appearance. But yeah, it's been good. It's been a good influence, I think.
It's yeah. I think it comes from the where VTubing has come from Japan initially, so
yeah, it kind of sticks with that kind of aesthetic. Like, you do get the realistic ones. I think you mentioned her earlier. What was the name?
Simra? Or is it Simrai? One of them. The mistress.
One of those two.
Yes, the mistress of the dark maze.
Yeah, you do get the more realistic ones that look like that. And I think it's varied in terms of what you can find. So you'll get ones that look like her, ones that look like myself, ones that look like complete anime girl. I think my favorite ones are the ones that look like inanimate objects.
Oh yeah.
The ones that completely break the mold. There's no anime style there. It's just a lamp.
Oh, Lampert.
Lampert, Lumen. There's the TV.
Oh yeah, TV.
TV.
Doesn't quite count, but Turnip.
Turnip. I love Turnip.
He's a great little. Technically a tuber, I think, is what Turnip is. If I'm not wrong, in the potato family.
Yeah. And last but not least, our boy Monkey.
Oh, forever in our hearts.
Forever in our hearts.
Barry Monkey Tube.
All right. R.I.P. Barry.
We're all praying for his return.
We are. I myself am praying quite often. I miss his gentle caress.
Those hairy arms, those eyes, that damn smile. Oh,
that damned smile.
That damn smile. That's how they get you. Yeah, he swiftly came into our hearts and left just as quickly.
But you know what they say: if you love something, set it free.
Yeah. I'm sure he's on his tour of the zoos of Britain. I'm sure he's enjoying that.
Yes, I'm sure he is.
His monkey holidays.
Monkey holidays.
Yeah. Monkey.
Monkey.
Monkey. But yeah, we've got anime and manga. There's a lot of that. Another thing heavily tied. We did talk about this a lot, so we'll cover this quickly. Is gaming. You've mentioned horror games, and we've spoken about the games you play on stream. But is there anything you play off stream that you've quite enjoyed recently?
Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I'm joking. I'm joking. I swear. I swear.
It's okay. We accept all forms of gamers here. There's no need to be ashamed of your whatever type of game that is.
Now, the main kind of thing that I've been playing off stream is Red Dead Online. I've been getting very much into the Wild Wild West. I do play Sea of Thieves offline just so I can do a bit of XP grinding and coin getting. But I save the tall tales and the actual content for the stream when that happens. What else? Killing Floor 2 is a good one that I play off stream.
Oh, bit of zombie shooting.
Absolutely.
A nice British game.
Yep, a good old British game with loads of money.
Dosh, lads, grab it while you can. Oh.
What else? Nier.
Oh, is that Automata or I forgot what the other one's called.
Replicant.
Yeah, the Replicant.
Yeah, Replicant and Dying Light.
Ah, that's the zombie Mirror's Edge, right?
Yeah, that's the Zombies Mirror's Edge.
Played a little bit of it. It's all right. 2
I
will
also
come
like-
out one day.
2 will come out one day. I also like to mod the ever-loving shit out of Fallout 4 and Skyrim.
Oh, there's endless possibilities of that.
Oh, what was that? What was that one video? It was like 30 seconds long, and it was a mud crab in a top hat, and the guy's like, "Oh my god, this mod is so unrealistic. A top hat on a mud crab. All right, that's it. I've had enough here. Come on, Master Chief."
People in their mods. Master Chief is canon though, so we can all agree on that.
Yeah, Master Chief is canon. As is Link, technically.
16 times the detail, says Turnip.
16 times the detail that was in Oblivion.
Damn.
Now I can simply enjoy the scuffness, but in more detail.
And
the town guard finds you in the middle of a lava lake. Well, now I can look at all the little bubbles that are appearing.
It just works. Just works.
It just works.
It's unbelievable how it just works.
It does. It is completely unbelievable how it seems to work.
They did a little sneak peek of their space game that I always forget the name of. Star something.
Starfield? Starbound?
I think it's Starfield, yeah. Which just looks like space astronauts.
It just looks like Skyrim in space.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's just Fallout with... Fallout is just desert Skyrim with guns, right?
Yeah.
They have a niche and they work it well.
What was that one sticker that will always stick with me? It was an advertisement for Far Cry 3, and it was reviewed as Fallout but with guns.
Wow.
And I think that kind of broke me a little bit.
Is that Far Cry 3?
Far Cry 3, yeah.
Damn. When will they add guns to Fallout?
When will they add guns to Fallout, Mojo?
I don't know. We've been waiting here for years. I was trying to think of what recent announcement there were for Fallout, but it was a huge cock tease of it was they were slowly announcing something, and it was like, oh, it's going to be this area, which is Fallout 2, but it's an expansion for 76. So everyone completely lost interest because that game. Yeah.
It's an alright game, but it was never my thing. Fallout 4 would always be the better game for me.
Well, it wasn't completely rushed, trying to be a clone of Rust, so...
True. The one thing I will say Fallout 76 got right is the irradiated opossums that you can find.
Ah. It does seem like a good setting.
It does. Virginia is one of the places that I didn't think would make Fallout, but it kind of did. It's just a shame what happened to it.
Yeah, it's the setting is good, but the game is lacking in a lot of areas. It's just not what Fallout fans want. Do you want to play Fallout without all of the good bits you like about Fallout?
Do you want to get excited over the announcement that we've actually put NPCs into the game?
Only like a year later, and they're basically meaningless.
Yeah, it's the same thing that you could have done previously, but now there's a person talking to you about it. It really works out, doesn't it?
Let's not talk about Bethesda.
Now, let me ask you a question.
You may.
Your full name, Komori Mojo.
Yes.
Have you ever considered starting a stream with "Hey guys, welcome to Watch Mojo"?
Not yet. I mean, without revealing too much, I have done stuff before streaming, and that joke was brought up. But I feel like there may be some legality with it, so I try to stay away.
Legality, it's fine.
I'm hoping everyone here is watching Mojo, but
I'm hoping everyone here is as well.
Hopefully, you never know. But yeah, let's get back to gaming.
Of course.
Because of I used to watch a lot of Watch Mojo. Back when I didn't know there was good content on YouTube.
Oh wow!
I used to watch a lot of vlogs, and all that terrible clickbaity stuff on YouTube.
You made reference to me throwing out the vicious mockeries. Here you are throwing them out.
Hey, I gotta emulate my guests in a way to make them comfortable, I guess.
True.
YouTube's a whole beast of its own. It's I mean, Twitch is, like people say, is going downhill, but YouTube is off a cliff. So
yeah, the Twitch is a slow incline, and you kind of like, well, you've got time to fix this. I respect that. YouTube, I just see that going in a straight vertical downward spiral.
You know what everyone would love? Putting ads on your videos. You make no money from it. Everyone will love that, right?
Yeah, that makes complete sense. I don't see the problem with this.
Changing the algorithm so that people that make good content get shafted, and people that make like Elsa and Spider-Man stuff are really popular.
Don't talk to me of Elsa and Spider-Man.
It's cursed. I mean, I have to go into horrible deep dungeons, but I'm never going into Spider-Man and Elsa.
The amount of people I've performed for and the stories I could tell you about those people do not compare to what Elsa and Spider-Man have produced.
They're on the same.
Especially when they started to implement the Joker as well.
Who haven't they introduced though? It's like Minions. I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't checked in a few years, but I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Among Us is among them. So
Mr. Among Us.
Among Us, the imposter, crewmate, Fortnite Steve.
You're creating a horrific concoction here.
No, I'm not creating. I'm probably just predicting. It probably already exists.
It probably does. It probably does. I don't want to look it up.
I'm not going to. I don't want to. Yeah, I've already got like my recommendations perfect on YouTube of it's just VTubers and music compilations. I don't want it to start coming up with with whatever they use to bait kids with.
I think it's okay. I think it's okay. They've not devolved into that yet.
Hopefully not. Hopefully.
Doing a quick cursed Google search, it is just Spider-Man and Elsa things. There's also a 10-minute 59-second video, which just has the black suited Spider-Man with a gun to the back of his head. So you know what? That's a thing. That's a thing.
That's fine on YouTube Kids. Don't worry.
Yes. Spider-Man versus Frozen Elsa and Anna. Okay, so what you're telling me is they just execute him. Nice.
Oh, that's not letting it go.
That's not letting it go at all. That's Into the Unknown.
That's the better song. The better song. Let's find something more positive apart from the downfall of the internet. So we've talked about internet stuff, games, anime, and stuff. What about off the internet? How do you like to relax or pursue hobbies?
Pursue hobbies. I am an avid collector of D&D books.
Oh.
And I do enjoy reading them as such. I also enjoy reading Warhammer related content, whether it be building models, painting them, or reading the lore behind them. Same thing goes for, and it is kind of divulging back into gaming, but same thing goes for Soulsborne content. I do like to read on the lore of the games behind it and the items that goes into the games themselves. So cut content, little tidbits of lore that are just in singular sentences that make no sense, but once you start to piece them together, it makes this whole overarching story that you never realized was there. I do a lot of reading.
That's pretty good. Reading's good. Good for your mind and all that.
Exactly.
I think I saw, was it last year or the year before, that Warhammer did a... it's not like a something. They came out with a new edition, and it seems like they're sort of maybe slightly curving to a different direction.
Yeah, it was like 9th edition, I think.
Yeah, I think so. They seem to be I don't know the right way to describe it. Vaguely making it family friendly, which is kind of weird to do for Warhammer, but
yeah, it's a bizarre thing when you work with people that chainsaw limbs off and chaos people that slowly rot you out from the inside. To just diverge into a family-friendly environment kind of doesn't really make sense.
They had those kids books for some reason.
Yes, they did.
I mean, I know that like every time you go into a store, most of the people in there are kids because people use them as babysitting places. But I don't.
True.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure that like almost everyone I've spoken to who's into Warhammer did get in at the around the early teens, the pre-teens sort of era.
Yeah, I got into it when I was about 13, and it was At my school, there was a local club where the kids got together and they played it.
Ah.
So, although I didn't have an army at the time, I did frequent there and I did learn a lot about it. And that was where I kind of picked it up and got my army together.
What was your first army?
My first army was just the regular Space Marines.
Classic.
I then, a true classic indeed. I then divulged into Chaos because, look at me. Do you really think I'd go for the really good, pretty boys?
You gotta play by some of your own rules every now and then.
Exactly. I'm chaotic neutral, but the clue is in the first word.
Lots more fun that way.
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely. It's lots more fun not playing by the rules of a codex. You just simply turn up, you shoot, you go home.
It's just much simpler that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All this talk about battlefield tactics and respecting your opponent. If you've got a gun and he hasn't, use it.
Well, at least you're not up against Tyranids. Just, there is no laws.
There is no laws with a Tyranid player.
Just Australian wildlife.
Yeah, literally just Australian wildlife.
Very educational.
Has it killed you yet? Well, it's trying to.
If it's not trying to kill you, you should be worried.
If it's not trying to kill you, it's trying to find out how to kill you.
Definitely.
More or less.
But yeah, there's a lot of Warhammer in Britain, probably because we invented it. So
That would explain why.
Have you ever been to the Warhammer world?
Yes, I used to frequent there quite a bit.
Oh, I forgot what it's called. What's that special? Is it called Warhammer Day?
Games Day.
Yeah, that's it. You ever visited one of those?
I've never been to a Games Day, but I would absolutely love to.
Oh. I've heard it's good. I've never had the pleasure of being there. But
Could always plan an IRL trip at some point.
It is relatively close to me, so just a quick train ride, I think.
Ooh. Well, I drive, so.
I drive. That's what the guy in Drive says, right?
I drive.
I drive. I am the Blade Runner.
Yes, that one movie, Blade Runner. I like the bit where he says he's Blade Runner.
Yes, I am the Blade Runner. It's my favorite recent meme of just saying the title. Oh.
I remember the bit in Superman 4, A Quest for Peace, where he says, "That's me, Superman 4, A Quest for Peace."
I'm Superman. I will request for peace.
Or perhaps even the more legendary Peter Jackson's King Kong starring Jack Black. Especially the bit where he says, "Look out, it's Peter Jackson's King Kong starring Jack Black."
I didn't think that line would fly, but Jack Black pulled it off.
Yeah, he did. It was bizarre to see such detail in a fourth wall break.
Especially seeing Poe jump down and yell out, "I am Kung Fu Panda," for punching people.
Exactly. You got to find. You got to find magic in it.
Sometimes it's the little things in films that make it.
Yeah, it's the little details that get you through. I can't believe that was a tangent.
I don't know. I got a bit lost.
You and me both.
It's. I would say it's too hot, but I can't use that as an excuse anymore. So it's too warm. There we go. We'll stick to that one. I'm used to it being like 10 and below.
Honestly, I'm used to having my windows open, but not to the extent that I've had them open. Well, just a little crack, just to air out the room, get a bit of breeze through there. I've never opened every single window and stood by them, hoping that my core temperature goes below what it should be.
Oh yeah. That's we're British. We're not built for that.
We're not. We're not. Like, I believe there was a post about it recently, but we don't have aircon. We don't have
No.
air conditioning. It's not a thing that's built into our houses, so we don't really plan for weather like this because it just doesn't happen.
I think shops have it. That's about the only places. Like
Oh yeah,
shops and big
absolutely.
businesses, but houses, it's like, do we really want to pay like hundreds of pounds for something that we're only going to use like 2-3 weeks a year?
Yeah. Whereas this fan that I've got that cost me £10, I can just put that in my room and call it a day.
Just open the windows. Just let nature take its course.
Yeah, exactly. And then we find out that during those 2 or 3 weeks, there's no wind. So, regardless of what happens, we still lose.
It's all been downhill for Britain these past 100 years or so.
These past 100 years.
Yeah, we've lost all our friends in quotations.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay out of that one. Yes, a bit too historically political. But yeah, I'm gonna start wrapping up soon. I'm getting a bit hungry. I've taken a lot of your time. It's a Saturday night. You should be out with your patrons.
Hey, it's no worries. It's no worries.
If anyone in the chat has any quick fire questions,
Go for it. Go for it. If you wish to have your questions answered by me, then do please.
I'm gonna have a peruse and see who's streaming. If you have any ideas on who we should raid, let me know.
Let's have a look. See, there is Cerise VT with Shin Megami Tensei.
Oh, that sounds pretty good.
We've got Olivia Crowley with Phasmophobia, Ophelia Black with Magic the Gathering.
Oh, magic. That's I'll leave that topic be.
That's another collection thing that I have.
Ah. They're doing D&D cards recently, I saw.
They do, yes. It was definitely something that I wasn't expecting.
Didn't they also do... They did another crossover that was weird, but I can't remember what it was.
There were the joke cards they made where for 4 land you can throw out a spell card that'll make you bat your opponent's deck onto the floor and every card face up gets discarded.
Ah. Oh yeah, I remember those joke ones.
Yeah, like I can't remember when they came out, but it was years ago now.
Back when it was a bit more of a laugh and not as competitive.
When you could actually have an opinion.
Yeah, I don't play many card games anymore, but there was a time.
Long ago.
Long ago. I would say champion, but there was no winning. I don't want to get... that's a topic for another day. But yeah, who have we got? We've got Ophelia, we've got Houndoom, Ulna. Who just send me person and I'll raid them. As long as they're what Taito likes to call a good bean.
What Taito likes to call a good bean? I would say in that case, who did you say? You listed a couple of people.
There's Ophelia, Ulna, Little Miss Houndoom.
Little Miss Houndoom is a good bean. Yeah, I know her personally. And she's been a good friend for me these years.
I shall give her a raid. She's doing the Fortress of Jewel with Hasher Brown.
Ah, yes, I remember that.
Ooh,
I still
ooh.
need to get my deck finished for that one.
Ah, you joining the ranks at the Duel Links?
Well, I've had it for a while. It's just I've never really made a competitive deck. It was just something I had.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas they introduced me to the way of competitive,
Mm-hmm.
and I was kind of like, oh, I've got to do this now. And so I've spent ages saving up to be able to do it.
Yeah, I've heard it's getting the deck you want is one thing, but then acquiring the cards is another.
Yeah, it's just another thing entirely.
Mm.
But no,
Yeah, carry on. I was just talking about cards.
I was going to say, no, thank you for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here and to entertain.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure to have you. It's good to talk to another fantasy tuber. We've spoken about VTubing, Warhammer, Magic briefly. Spoke about your model, your exciting debut when that comes out.
Absolutely.
Bit of Halo, spooky games, all that stuff. But yeah, how do you usually end your streams?
I usually say, stay positive, stay happy, and by all means, stay inspired.
I fully support that message. So it's a goodbye from me, and enjoy Little Miss Hamdoom.